And the weapons. The tools Mr. Clay used to terrorize the citizens of New Bordeaux. I suppose you furnished him with those as well.
Actually, no. Don't get me wrong, Senator. I would have given him any gun, knife, or bomb he asked for.
What can I do for you, Lincoln Clay?
But like I've said, Lincoln never had trouble finding a weapon.
And just how does he accomplish that?
Help me kill Sal Marcano.
For most of that summer, one of his underbosses, Cassandra, she ran the Haitian gang, looped him into a sweet little arms smuggling ring she had going. That kept him squared away.
There are stashes of guns hidden in this city.
Full-service operation. They aim to please. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, you name it. It was all black market gear, of course. I mean, this was a real arsenal. If the VC had been this well provisioned at the drain, the whole damn war might have turned out different. Extended clips, perfectly tuned sights, hollow points, silencers. By the time Lincoln finished tinkering with the firearm, it was a precision instrument of death.
Nothing like this had ever happened before. Lincoln wanted to terrify the mob. He wanted them to know he was going to kill every last one of them.
Then, Jesus, then when Burke came on board, things really kicked up another level. Explosives. Everything from Molotov cocktails to C4. You know, the stuff they use for controlled demolitions. Except in our case, not always so controlled.
There was a loud crash, like a bomb going off.
War on the streets as a gunman stormed the Royal Hotel, killing an untold number of men.
You know what the funny part is? The funny part is, Lincoln didn't really need half the shit to take down Marcano.
And the systematic killing of Marcano's capos and lieutenants?
Well, we weren't playing fucking patty cake. Christ. Fighting to him was like breathing. I've seen him bring a whole VC unit to its knees using nothing but his knife. I've seen him take apart an armored encampment from the canopy with a single-scoped combat rifle. Put a rocket launcher in the hands of a man like that, and those poor bastards never stood a chance. Even back in Laos when we were running guns. Hell, almost from the moment he stepped off the chopper, I remember thinking to myself, this man has a talent for violence.
I understand that Lincoln Clay's action was the result of a vendetta against Sal Marcano. But why did the pursuit of that vengeance lead Mr. Clay to unleash violence and destruction throughout the entire city?
But Senator, that's the beautiful part. Sal owned New Bordeaux, so Lincoln could treat the whole city as one giant target. Men with power like Sal Marcano, they think they're untouchable.
I don't have it in me to feel shame for the things I've done. Never have.
What they don't want is for you to start picking at the loose threads at the edge of their empire. Disrupting the drug market from the street up. Robbing back alley heroin dealers in the hollow. Or shooting up the PCP labs tucked among the high society in Frisco Fields. They damn sure don't want you infiltrating their safe houses and extracting valuable information from their low-life lieutenants.
Hey, you want a doctor? Then you better tell me something worth hearing.
They tend to get annoyed when you start hunting two-bit pimps through the French ward one by one. Terrorizing old Uncle Lou Marcano's well-paying Johns, and grinding the flesh trade in the city's bordellos to a crawl.
Came in and killed everybody.
They definitely don't want you to keep pulling the thread till you're shooting up the casino boat that chugs through that muddy bayou.
I want you to send a message to your brother.
Pull enough thread and the whole operation starts to fall apart.
Should've saved a bullet or two.
You muscle in on Enzo Conti, interdict all that lost cargo that fell off the car in a train yard somewhere in Barclay Mills, the guns, the cars, the human beings. You choke off every single black market pipeline that keeps the Marcano empire afloat.
Lincoln Clay! Lincoln Clay! Every lowlife ball of piss in this city smells blood in the water. My blood!
Then, and this is the absolute last thing they want, is for you to start building your own thing on the same spot where you tore theirs down.
Once it's in our hands, I'll decide who gets to run the day-to-day.
Men with power like Sal Marcano never understand how quickly they can lose it. But once you've unraveled enough thread, you take all that thread you got and string them up with it.
Peggy 18.
I'm curious, Mr. Donovan. How exactly did you amass such a detailed knowledge of New Bordeaux?
Like I'd tell any of you assholes.
Mr. Donovan,
Look, New Bordeaux's more than an outline on a map. It's a collection of districts, cultures, people. My job was to listen and observe, identify the relevant target, provide Lincoln with a blueprint. He did the rest.
could you give this committee an example of what you mean?
Yeah, all right. Take Delray Hollow, where Lincoln grew up. The hollow's filled with pride, hope. Up beneath that is a layer of fear, of anger, with a sense you gotta scratch and claw for everything.
The fuck are you?
Frisco Fields. Manicured lawns, perfect smiles, southern charm. Thing is, it's all a show, a facade. Just because the knife comes out of a monogram sleeve doesn't mean it won't cut your throat. The French War. Home to every fantasy and perversion you can imagine. But if you're not careful, those appetites will come back around on you. Be the very thing that kills you. Bayou Phantom. It's beautiful down there. Serene even. But it's also vicious, wild, unpredictable. Ah, yes. Pint for done. A proud people, the Irish. The entire district runs on whiskey and rage. People up there never back down. Never. On the surface, South Downs looks like a nice blue-collar neighborhood. Safe. Friendly, even. It's all a cover, though. Cover for violence and lawlessness. You could almost mistake Barclay Mills and Tikva Harbor for normal American industrial zones. But in order to do that, you'd have to ignore all the brutality and workplace accidents. Downtown, the prosperous heart of the city. Concrete, steel, the wheels of government, and greasing the whole thing is an endless stream of graft and corruption. Then there's River Row. Whole damn district's just one never-ending knife fight.
This is all very poetic, Mr. Donovan, but it doesn't explain
how Lincoln Clay took down the entire city in the summer of '68. He did it by mastering the one thing everyone in New Bordeaux understands. Power.
Lincoln can earn money in a variety of different ways. Everything from just taking out individual gangsters, you'll kind of get a money boost from that, to actually the process of unpicking the crime ecosystem in the city. Districts in the city are built up of criminal rackets. As Lincoln takes those down, he gets tip-offs on high-value targets.
You can interrogate people that will tell you where a different racket is storing all of its money. And so you can go after that one specific place where everyone stashed the money for the racket. And if you take that down, you'll get a huge amount of money.
One of the great ways to make more money is by recruiting racket bosses. If you've wiretapped that district enough, you're given the option whether to kill or recruit that racket boss. And if you kill that racket boss, you get, a lower amount of money. But if you recruit that racket boss, you make a larger amount of money over a certain period of time. And so it really incentivizes recruiting as many racket bosses as you can instead of killing them.
The hideouts themselves then start to generate earn. So over time, you get access to more and more cash, and this allows Lincoln to upgrade his fleet, he can upgrade all of those vehicles, he can add performance to them as the game progresses. There's different types of weaponry in the game that Lincoln can gain access to as well, ever more powerful stuff. Basic supplies, which you'll call in through one of the other services, your arms dealer. Things like grenades and C4. As Lincoln goes through the game, obviously picking up money, he stores it in his wallet, but if you were to die at some point, then you would lose a significant chunk of that cash. So we have a service through one of the underbosses, and this is called the consigliere. So you can kind of call this driver in who comes and picks up money from you and then stores that in a safe location. So you want to keep doing that throughout the game so that you make sure when you die you're not going to lose all of your money, because that could be potentially quite a big hit depending on how long you've been stashing it for.